Like,
Hey man, don't sleep on sciatica, bro. That us 38-year-olds, man, that is like some brutal stuff right there, dude. It'll wreck your week, man. I'll tell you what. How did neither of us pick Luka for MVP?
I don't know. Man, I mean, he's averaging over 40, dude. I don't know what else to say other than like this guy's on a mission right now to like, destroy everybody. I think Giddy is right now. I mean, he's for sure an all-star, and
Okay.
there's just no doubt about that. And we are back. Week 2 of the NBA season. And Titus, how we doing, man?
Doing great, Troy. Getting ready for this podcast. I was doing some last minute prep, and I sent you a picture. I had like an alien spacecraft pull up in my cul-de-sac. I still don't know what it was. Maybe I'll share a picture for the listeners. I'm a little shook by that. So if I'm like stuttering and not making sense, or saying that the Memphis Grizzlies might still be a good team, then you know the reason.
Well, I was gonna say, are you shook by the alien life form outside your house, or the fact that you just randomly threw in last pod that we're sleeping on Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies? In which the very next day or 2 days later, Ja Morant went on record after the game against the Lakers that his coaches suck and that they should have played him more, to which he got suspended. So, Ty, we're gonna start every week with one of our takes that is just blowing up in our face. And we're going right there today. So, do you have any defense of the Grizzlies or Ja Morant, who's now in a bunch of trade rumors?
All right, so all right, let me start with this. It was the end of the podcast. We record this podcast very late at night. We let our other responsibilities, we make sure we complete them, and then we get on. I just, I saw them play a little bit that first week. I think at that point they were maybe 2-1. And yeah, I don't know, man. There's just a part of me that was like, this team drafts so well. Like we talked about that a little bit. They get these mid to late round guys that turn out. And Ja, he did some good stuff early on. But Troy, this is a thing for sure. Like this feels like it's going to be very hard for them to come back from. Again, at the end of the day, I do feel like Memphis has some really good pieces because of how they draft and just the culture that it seems like they have, at least from the outside. But golly, man, like he literally in that Lakers game is just standing around. I mean, the body language was awful. It wasn't their last coach fired for this same reason. Like he lost the locker room. So for this to happen a couple games into the year, it's hard not to think it's one of those things that like the common denominator is, it seems specifically like it's Ja. I haven't heard any of the other guys. I didn't see any of his teammates just literally standing around during the game. So, I mean, what do you think is going on in Memphis?
Yeah, man, at the end of the day, when you're building a franchise around that guy and it's just, there's no stability with him, whether it's the getting suspended 25 games last year for the guns, right?
Was that 2 years ago or last year?
Or maybe 2 years ago.
And then last year he had injuries. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah. So, when you're building, there's just no stability around this guy. He's no leadership, and not to mention his dad is front row at every game, causing a huge issue.
He looks like Usher.
And also think about the guys they lost. It individually in and of themselves, maybe they're not great players, but someone like Dylan Brooks, and man, I'm getting to a place where I'm a defender of Dylan Brooks at this point, because man, he's a culture setter, man. Like he sets the tone night in and night out. He plays hard, and if you reel him in on the shot taking, he's a good player, man, and he plays hard. Tyus Jones, guys like that are good fits and good locker room guys, and they slowly but surely they can't pay all of these guys, and now he's the centerpiece. So man, they're in trouble. And we're reading reports today that from Shams that no one wants him. No one's gonna take on this guy with that contract. And also his at rim finishing. where he used to just go reckless abandon and dunk on people. His at-rim finishing has declined every single year in the NBA, and it's
Right.
like drastically low this year. So if he's
Well,
not finishing
Troy,
at the rim, I don't know what we're doing.
yeah, it's funny. You kind of went through what is supposed to be the natural progression, especially with the new players and owners agreement, right? So like with the second apron, it's a lot harder to retain mid-level players, like really good mid-level players. You have to take a chance on younger guys. When you think about it, like the natural progression of an NBA team is if you do get a young star like Ja, they're supposed to learn from those older guys. And then from there, they take over those leadership roles as the older guys, the veteran players move on, right? So that didn't happen here. So he definitely, I have a funny, kind of a neat story reflecting on it. So in January 2023, so the 22-23 season was when Memphis finished second in the West. I took my sons as a Christmas present to see Memphis and Oklahoma City play back to back. I believe Oklahoma City was first. And when we, so at the time, when you think about it, this was Chet's rookie year. So he's sitting out. And Oklahoma City, you could tell they were on the rise. The Magic were as well. But no one would have guessed that within 3 years they would have won a championship. And that we're going to get into Oklahoma City later, like be gunning for, I don't know, maybe 75 wins. I mean, like this team is unbelievable. And we're going to talk about them later. At the time, though, Memphis was the young upstart team in the NBA that everyone had their eyes on. They ended up getting the 2 seed that year. Keep in mind, remember, Tyus Jones he started like 20-something games that year. Ja, even then, didn't play. I mean, he maybe played 70 to 75% of the games that year. And we were able to stay at the same hotel as the Oklahoma City team. So we rode an elevator with the assistant GM, and this guy's been all over. I believe he's with the Wizards now. And he was telling us, man, this group, this young group of guys, they love basketball. They're all in, they're locked in. He was saying just the best stuff. And the most interesting conversation I had was with their head of security, because at the hotel they came down, he was kind of monitoring, like letting people get autographs and whatnot. And he told me, we just struck up a conversation, and he said, listen, man, this team, like, we don't have to worry about anything with these guys. Like, none of them are staying out late. None of them are getting into trouble. They play basketball. They hang out as a team. They go to their room and they'll play cards. They'll play video games. They go to bed at a normal hour, and they wake up the next morning ready to ball. And I remember that conversation. And obviously at the time, we didn't know yet some of the behind the scenes stuff that ended up coming to light with Ja Morant. But it's wild, like the contrast, right? Because if you looked at those two teams, Memphis was ahead of where Oklahoma City was at, and they were climbing. They had a young big three, essentially, with JJJ, Bane, and Ja. They had all these other great pieces, and it just seemed logical that they were the team that would have had a chance to win a title soon after that. And everything fell apart, right? All of it due to, I think, you can kind of point to when stuff started to fall apart for Ja, and that's in the past, but I feel like it was concerning, to say the least, the accountability he took for it, his ability to really own up to it. And this just feels like it's kind of in the same vein, what's going on now. And I mean, now people are talking about, they're not just talking about trading, they're talking about moving the franchise to another city. Like, it's wild how fast stuff fell apart. And I just think back to like the juxtaposition of that young Oklahoma City team who hadn't even made the playoffs yet. They weren't even going to make the playoffs that year. And that Memphis team that seemed like a contender that year. They were a 2 seed. It's wild, man. And it's sad because I just think with Ja, he should be just entering his prime. But I almost want to say when he was in his prime as like a 22-year-old, 21-year-old, everything feels different now. And it's just, I think it's just a good reminder, like the little stuff adds up, the little stuff really counts. And I think we're seeing that play out in real time. And it's really crazy that him and Zion were in the same draft class, because like they're both
you stole the words
cautionary
right
tales.
out of my mouth. Yeah, you
It's
stole the
wild.
words. I didn't really have much of a other than just to bring up, like, man, they went 1-2 in that draft class, and you can't really remember anyone else in that class, right? But it was like going into that class, it was like, all right, you want the first or second pick, and New Orleans and Memphis got it. They drafted Zion and Ja, and man, looking back now, is that 7 years now? It's
Wow.
just like, wow, going into their career, maybe 6. It's just like those teams are uh, headed in a very bad direction, and you never would have thought that when they won the first, second pick in the lottery. They hit the jackpot, right? And so to see where they are now, I mean, you stole the words right out of my mouth. That thought about just Zion and Ja in that draft.
And what's interesting, Troy, is like with New Orleans, it feels like you could blame some of it on the organization. Like there's that just seems to be a consensus. With Memphis, there's really no other signs of organizational dysfunction other than Ja. Like you're not seeing other players coming out and reaming against them. You're not hearing stories. It really seems to be him. Like outside of, in fact, I would say they felt like a very stable franchise for being a small market.
Totally.
So we don't know the ins and outs of it. And I know people have been very quick to jump to his defense, and I get it. My son has his jersey. He had his shoes one year. Like there's a lot of people that love him in the basketball world, but I don't like it. It would be one thing if there was a bunch of signs of this being a very dysfunctional organization, and outside of him and his issues he's had personally, and now it's bleeding into the blaming the coaches and stuff. It just feels like it falls squarely on his shoulders, which brings us back to, why the hell did I make that stupid prediction in the beginning? It really wasn't a prediction. I was just kind of like, hey, Memphis, maybe we didn't talk about enough.
In your defense, Ty, you said we're sleeping on them. And maybe we were sleeping on how much of a disaster they are becoming. So.
I was like, hey, I have a feeling we're going to be talking about this team a lot this year.
And we damn sure are. So
Troy, back to the original point, like, who would trade from? Let's just spitball them. I know they're saying no one's interested. They're going to have to trade them. That's what this feels like.
It's funny
there
you
has to be
that.
somebody.
And I can think of one team that does dumb, stupid, idiotic stuff every year. The Sacramento Kings, baby. We trade away Fox. You see, I've upgraded my jersey back there. I'm displaying.
Love it.
And we trade away Fox and we'll go get Ja. Of course. That's totally something we would do.
That sounds like, par for the course.
But yeah, I mean, what's been being reported right now is several GMs have been asked and no one wants to touch them. And that's a testament to just the instability that he brings injury wise, but also the off the court stuff,
Right.
So yeah,
well,
Memphis
so
is
I've
in a
heard
tough
Houston.
Spot, man.
Is there any credence to that? Houston, they need a point guard, fresh start.
Maybe that would be a spot for him with
loads of trouble for him to get into in the Houston Metro.
Yeah. I will say I was watching Memphis Houston tonight a little bit, and man, that Houston team, I do think we are sleeping on them. So I predicted that they wouldn't. Sleeping on them as far as I think they're better than I thought, but I don't see them contending. But yeah,
right. Well, I mean, then that means
could
they're
be a move away, though. They could be a move away.
So if you remember in our preseason, I said they were properly rated, and I think that's probably because the top 3, right?
Yep.
But I could see. I don't know, man. Maybe they are one move away from contending. At the end of the day, I don't think Van Vliet may. Yeah, I mean. I don't know if Van Vliet made them a contender.
Van Vliet is making a difference only because Reed Shepherd sucks. I'm sorry. I am so out on that guy. Listen, man, at this day and age of the NBA, there's so much talent that there's not a lot of like, oh, he could improve. Some guys do. And I want to give credit to that. Like some guys take time but for the most part, you know if a guy has it or not for the NBA,
Right.
And dude, Reed Shepherd he can't defend. He can't get around screens.
His defense is bad.
It's awful. It's awful. Yeah. And his offense is very limited as well. He's not going by guys.
Right.
He obviously he can shoot, but you got to be able to do more, right? Especially
And he's
at
little.
his
He's little. I
size.
mean, what he's
Yeah.
not going to improve in is his physical measurements.
Well,
Like
and the way
he's
Houston plays, I just don't see him fitting in. So, but yeah, man. So,
I'm
maybe
all
they could
for
be a
Houston getting
destination for
Ja.
Ja.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
it would.
you know, at
So,
the end of the day, like they should be able to get him for pretty cheap. I mean, there's Magic fans throwing it around. I don't even want to touch that. And we will get into the Magic later. But
oh yes, we will. Yes, we will.
so to be continued, but I think Ja will come up more throughout this podcast, and it's unfortunate. It sucks. Like, and I hope he could turn it around because he was such a unbelievably fun player to watch. But it feels self-inflicted. I mean, there's just no two ways about it. It would be one thing if he had given his heart and soul for years and years and years, and the organization did him wrong. Like, by all accounts, everything's been really stable in his entire orbit, except for maybe him and like maybe his dad. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Ty, you mentioned the Magic games that you went to in 22, 23, in that OKC game. We were talking about this before the pod tonight, and I had brought up, wasn't Giddy on that team, and y'all had mentioned how big Giddy was.
That's right, man.
And I think this is a great. We have to transition and talk about Mr. Giddy.
Well, before you get into the resurrection of Giddy this year, I want to give a brief timeline. So, when we were at that game, we were at the same hotel as Oklahoma City, and Giddy was super gracious. So Josh Giddy stopped. He talked to our kids, and I remember texting you like, man, this guy's huge. Like it blew me away. Like he was a big guy. And again, he signed their, one of my sons had like his trading card and stuff, just a super guy. And then obviously he fell into some controversy soon after. So then he almost became like a punchline, right, for a year or so. He also never, like, Oklahoma City's so smart, dude. Like, as good as Giddy is, like, they were able to kind of figure in their equation of what they were trying to do. Like, he's probably not the best fit. And it just seemed like a mutual parting.
Yeah.
And so all that to be said, you know, he went from like young promising star to, you know, kind of like NBA Twitter, like punching bag for a little bit for the stuff he went through. And personally, my sons were kind of like, you know, because they catch wind of some of that stuff and they're like, oh yeah, we got to throw his card away or whatever. But they never gave up on him. And we've been excited to see this rise this year. So Troy, tell me, what is going on? Obviously capped off by a great game against the Sixers the other night. So, is this Bulls team for real, and is he able to kind of like lead a team and do something special here?
Listen, man, I've watched a lot of Bulls this year, partially because our good friend Mario is a huge Bulls fan. Yeah, so
Buckets and Gravy listener, baby.
Yeah, Buckets and Gravy, former Shock Dog.
That's
former
right,
Shock Dog.
Dude. We need to have a full podcast just about the Shock Dogs, dude. Let him know.
Shout out Mario. I did invite him tonight to praise the Bulls, and he's a little older now, so he went to bed. So, man, so I want to be careful here because it's like 6 games into the season, right? But he showed this last year too towards the end, but the Bulls stunk. But I watching that game, I'm gonna go veer off for a second. Watching the Magic versus Pistons game, and we talked about this last week, where Magic have a lot of great players, but when you watch Cade Cunningham for the Pistons, just in full control, just a different level, right?
Yeah.
Controlled the game in full control, and just a different level of composure. And man, I'm not comparing Giddy to Cade, but I saw that down the stretch last night where they're facing Maxey and the Sixers. Everyone's praising Maxey and Edgecombe, the rookie, and a little of this was affected by Embiid just sucking, and he's
I thought
terrible.
you were about to say a little of this was affected by the second whiskey that I was finishing, but I was like, oh, where are we going?
Yeah, so Maxey dropped 39 last night, but the last 6 minutes, I mean, just nothing. And it was clear who was in control of that game. And even the Bulls were a little sporadic and
Mhm.
doing crazy things. Buzelis like tried to windmill on Embiid.
I saw that like in
Yeah.
crunch time.
I don't know what he was doing.
I do
crunch
like
time,
him
trying to
though.
windmill on Embiid.
That guy
yeah.
he's got some good stuff going on.
Yeah, but when the Bulls needed a play or needed a point or needed a wide open shot, it was Giddy. And the players know it. They all went to Giddy. It's like, we want him to have the ball, and then of course he made the game winning play where the wraparound pass drove to the basket, wraparound left hand pass to Vooch in the corner for the game winning three. Man, the Bulls have some impressive wins, man, and their only loss is against the Knicks after they beat the Knicks. So it's back-to-back games against the Knicks. So take that for what it is. But I think the Bulls are for real, and I think Giddy is right now. I mean, he's for sure an all-star, and there's just no doubt about that. And man, he's in a great fit. To your point, when he's on, a player gets traded from a championship team, or he gets traded, the team goes on to win the championship. It's like, oh, he wasn't good enough to be on a champion. It just wasn't a right fit, it seems like. And now, man, he's in full force, and he looked unstoppable last night. I will say the Sixers don't play any defense, and that's their weakness. So
I mean, listen, it's an NBA team though that's
it's an
beaten
NBA
a lot
team,
of other
and
NBA
he's been doing
teams.
this night in and night out, night in and night out. I think they're for real. I think Giddy's for real. Again, I'm not putting him on the Cade level because Cade's floating around top 10 to 15 players in the NBA.
100%. Yeah.
So I want to be careful of that. He's creeping up though, man.
Well, let me ask you this, Troy. Like, I mean, we will talk about the Magic during our segment Home Cooking, a fan favorite, where we talk about the Magic and the Kings and possibly little Sixers sprinkled in there.
Yes.
But that's kind of the core of what we've talked about with the Magic, like a lack of a go-to playmaker. And I think sometimes we overemphasize like the go-to guy who takes shots down the stretch. It's not about taking shots in today's NBA. Because analytics has figured out, like, just because you can get a shot off every time, it doesn't even matter. Like, even if you're Kobe Bryant or Wemby right now, who can get a shot off on anyone, that's not always the best option. The best option is you having the ball in your hands and finding the highest efficiency opportunity every possession. And obviously, Jokic does that at a level we've almost never seen. Giddy is one of those guys that when the ball's in his hands, you can trust that something really good is probably going to happen. And we've talked about the depth and the talent throughout the NBA right now, that if you have one of those guys able to get the ball to the teammates around them, like you're almost guaranteed to get a great shot and score at a really high clip. And as a Magic fan, I want to say it must be nice having someone like Giddy who is wired that way. Like he is absolutely wired in a way to constantly be hunting every possession. And he just has instincts that are hard to teach. Like he knows what to look for. He knows how to anticipate what the defense is doing. And as I've talked about the Magic, like I personally feel like you can't teach that. I think people either have that inclination or they don't. And it's very rare. If it was common, then everyone would do it. There's a select few people in the world that can process an NBA defense and make the right decision time and time again. And he's one of those guys. And it's fun to see him emerging in that way.
100%. And it's funny, even just thinking about the Magic. We'll talk about them later, but I watched a possession last night down the stretch. I think there might have been 2 minutes left or three, and it's like Banchero tried to drive, got stopped, passed it to Franz. Franz tried to drive, got stopped, passed it to Wendell. Wendell passed it to
Wendell
back to
punted the ball into the
yeah, exactly.
throw.
So, but it's just like you try, and I like, man, guys like Giddy are so invaluable, man, because even if it's just like, hey, Paulo, go to the post, and I'll feed you. Like he puts the guys in the spot. He's always in control, directing traffic, and when you don't have that, it shows. In the case of the Magic, right?
It's like a quarterback. Like it used to be like, oh, the point guard's the quarterback of a basketball team, and now it's just whoever your playmaker is, right? It's great if they're a point guard, but Luka, Giddy, you could call them forward,
Totally.
point guard, whatever. Jokic,
100%.
LeBron has been doing it famously from any position on the court. Like when you have one of those guys that sees the game, just like a Tom Brady or one of these quarterbacks, right, who sees the game in a different way, Mahomes, like it makes all the difference. And the NBA is not, it's similar. You know, it doesn't guarantee in the same way that it does in football. It doesn't perfectly translate wins. But offensive efficiency in the half court, and that's the problem with the Magic. We have no quarterbacks, like
you have
at
Carson
all.
Wentz. You have Carson Wentz at quarterback.
Although, as I say that, Suggs is apparently like a great quarterback back in his day, but
not point guard wise.
No,
well,
no.
And Ty, I mean, just with Giddy, I just want to throw these numbers at you, man. 23 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists on the year.
Wow.
I mean, we're 6 games in, 7 games in.
Something like that, yeah.
So, but still, I mean, he's averaging close to a triple-double. And to your point, when you met him, the size, right? I mean, he's averaging 10 rebounds a game.
He's at least 6'8", yeah.
Had 29, 15, and 12 last night. I mean,
dang.
That's elite, man. And so I'm a believer in the Bulls.
Shout out, baby. Aussies, baby. Aussies. I don't know what their symbol is. Aussies?
On the Bulls, they might be League Pass MVP right now. They're a fun team to watch, but also they got Benny the Bull. It's elite. and then Stacey King on the mic, on the commentating. Yeah. I mean, when Vooch hit that 3 last night, it literally was like inappropriate for anyone under 18 to listen to. So,
I love it.
So yeah, man, the Bulls are a fun story, and I don't think they're going away. I really don't. I think they're legit. Buzelis, it's fun. I mean, obviously I haven't seen him in person, like at a game, but on the screen he looks huge. Like he literally looks like he's like 6'10". He looks like Durant size almost.
Right.
Like not kidding. So man, they're a good team. They're a good team, and we'll see what happens. So
that's exciting, man. I love the parity, you know, because in the NBA sometimes it's easier to predict than like, you know, than NFL who's going to be good because you kind of think you have it figured out. They came out of nowhere, you know, really did, and I love to see it.
Yeah. No, and good for Giddy, man. You know, that's a case of like a win-win for both teams, right? The OKC
100%.
got Caruso,
right,
and the Bulls got Giddy, and the Kings got Levine and DeRozan, the worst two out of all that. So that was amazing, of course. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. So speaking of the Kings, Troy, our segment that is very popular, home cooking. I'm not saying every week we need to do a long, drawn out thing on the Kings, but tell me about your starting power forward, Russell Westbrook, baby. You guys have resurrected the Westbrook train. How's he doing? Is he like a vintage Karl Malone? Or are we talking more like a, John Havlicek? What type of power forward is Russell Westbrook for you guys?
Yeah, well, emphasis on starting power forward. First of all, that's how bad we are. I hate this team. I hate this team. This team is awful. They are the bane of my existence. I hate that they even flash up on my NBA app as my team. They're at the top of every game day that they have a game. They're at the very top.
Oh yeah.
I need to change that. Everything about this team is just awful.
It sounds like the Bulls should be
exactly. So yeah, man, it's dark days with the Kings. It's dark, and I can't believe Russell Westbrook is playing on our team. He started tonight, and it's bad, man. It's just so bad. It's we suck, and all I do is just watch the highlights of the top 3 picks upcoming in the NBA draft in college, and that I just hope we lose every game. I've never done that for a team. I've always wanted my team to win, but I am at the point where it's just it it cannot get better unless we lose.
So on a brighter note, I'm a Magic fan. And I was hoping to escape this, this pit of despair that we all can circle in on the Buckets and Gravy podcast. But Troy, you watched them on national TV last night. I did as well. And I mean, all I got to say is new season, same old story. We get on national TV. I mean, we had the NBA on NBC theme playing beforehand. I was excited. No Trae Young. It just seemed like a great night for a great night to be a Magic fan. And we go out and just essentially get our ass kicked for 48 minutes. And I mean, there was little moments here and there. I think they led wire to wire. The Hawks did. And at the end of the day, the Hawks are just playing clean basketball. They're moving the ball. They're defensively, they're getting after it. But yeah, they're getting good looks. I mean, they're finding the right guy. They're getting out in transition. And the Magic, for the most part, didn't do any of those things. And it's unbelievable that we have our full squad and you can make excuses like, oh, we're early into this new, but there's not that much that's new. It's one thing if you have a new coaching staff and we added one guy who was supposed to be plug and play and Desmond Bane. I am inclined to put him very low on the list of reasons why we've gotten off to a slow start. But Troy, share his numbers with us, if you will.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have those pulled up.
Yeah.
It's not great. It's really bad.
Well, I mean, on the season, he's averaging 14 points a game, 4 rebounds, and 3.5 assists.
Troy, can I just stop you and say Max had his first Trinity game, my 7th grader, and he scored 15. They lost, pretty healthily, but he's averaging more points than Desmond Bane right now. 6-minute quarters,
But I mean, Ty, to your point with Bane, I actually kind of agree with you that he something's going on bigger than Bane. But I mean, the last 3 games he did get ejected out of the Atlanta game, but the last 3 games 9 points, 5 points, 9 points.
Well, Troy, here's
he hasn't gotten double digits in the last 3 games.
That's unbelievably bad. And we brought him in with the understanding that he was going to do a lot for us, but primarily you bring Bane in to solve the shooting issue that we've had for years. And we're going to keep beating this drum. Me as a lifelong fan and you as an observer who knows the game well, that there's 2 things here. One, the lack of a true playmaker. We hit on that extensively on the last podcast. And I think should continue to hit on it because it's a real thing. You have 4 average playmakers hoping that somehow if you just kind of share it and then maybe add a 5th with Tyus Jones coming off the bench that it solves it. The NBA is too elite now. You have to have either elite, absolutely elite individual scorers, which none of our guys are. Paolo can have great games. He can be a bull. We've talked about that. We've also talked about some of his shortcomings. Same with Franz. Or you need to have a few really good, really, really good to excellent playmakers, like we just talked about with Giddy, like someone who, when the ball is in their hands, you are confident that you are going to get an A+ opportunity most every possession. The Magic have neither of those. So instead of addressing those, they just keep piling on shooters. It's the same thing that happened with KCP last year. It's the same thing that happened with Gary Harris when we brought him over. Like, these guys shoot at a really high clip. Why is that? It's because And again, with KCP and Harris, yeah, they had played with Jokic. But now with Bane, we can't blame the fact that those guys play with Jokic. So it's like, oh, they play with Jokic, of course they're getting wide open looks. No, they played for a competent NBA offense. And when you play for a competent NBA flow and offense, you're going to get some really good looks. Bane is not getting good looks. It'd be one thing if he was clanking wide open threes. Troy, here's the thing. Not every 3-point attempt is created equal. Right? So there's so much data that shows, if a pass comes from inside the paint out and you're able to catch it from a pass coming from the hoops, you're squared up, you're catching it, you're facing. Because you think about the way we all grew up doing shooting drills, someone is usually at or near the hoop passing to us. We catch it, we shoot it to the hoop. Our body doesn't have to keep shifting. It's very natural. So that's an example of not all threes are created equal. Obviously, catch and shoot is usually higher percentage than off the dribble, even though there's a few guys that have kind of bucked that trend lately. Franz being one of them. Franz, Luka, Harden, they actually shoot better. Anyways, all that to be said, Troy, I bring all this up to say last night at one point the announcers were just like, oh man, there's a lid on the hoop for the Magic. These threes just aren't going in. And it's like, no. This isn't random. It's not that they're necessarily in and of themselves bad shooters. It's the type of looks they're getting. And what I noticed last night is we end up shooting 33s. We have a trouble even getting 30 up a game. But the offensive flow was it was usually off a pick and pop where a screener sets, and then they're backpedaling to the three-point line. They catch it. Someone's closing out. So they've had their momentum going back. They have to stop and then shoot it. Meanwhile, the Hawks, almost all their three-point attempts were just like stepping right into it, right? Even if there's a hand in your face, I would rather step right into it for an NBA guy. Step right into it, even if a hand is in your face. If your momentum is set and going forward, it's money. These guys are so automatic. But if you're backpedaling, right, and you're off balance, even if you're open, it's a tough shot. And a lot of our threes came up short. They came up in a way that shows like you're throwing your muscle memory off at that point, and you're adding too much variance to it. So these aren't good looks. And that goes back to the coach. That goes back to coaching. There's no offensive flow or system that makes sense. And that's just the three-point attempts. Everything else, you've hit on it. It's just like random penetrating kicks that don't feel like they're part of anything bigger. And then eventually, and that's the best of us. The worst of us is when we just go into full ISO mode, where teams now know to wall up on Franz, to wall up on Paulo. And when they have too many arms and bodies in the way, more times than not, they're making dumb passes. They're making passes that are either late, so the defense recovers, or are turnovers or tipped. And I don't know what to say. Like a really great coach could solve this with the talent we have. On the flip side, a coach like Mosley would be fine if we just had one really good playmaker that we knew when they were in the game we were getting the looks and the right decisions every possession. I can't tell you how many times, Troy, the last thing on this, when Paolo is clearly a beat late for a read, he's kind of probing, he's over dribbling, he's doing his thing, putting pressure on the defense, which is great. The double comes or someone's stunting at him, and he just waits that extra half second, and then he makes the pass, and they've recovered at that point. It has to be quicker. And like, I don't think you can teach that. I literally think that is an instinct that you build upon. And we don't have anyone who has it. And it's ugly ass basketball to watch. It's ugly.
It is. Yeah. I mean, Ty, there's so many things we could go on, right? Like Paolo not making the right reads and being slow. Everything looking so hard for that offense. Bane shooting 28.6% from three and under 50% from the field. Suggs looking like a shell of himself. So on, like you could go on it, but then it kind of comes back to what you're saying. At a certain point, if everyone is underperforming, the only answer is the coach. I'm sorry, and I think this is the worry we had coming into the season. This is a worry I texted you immediately when the Magic signed him to an extension 2 years ago, when y'all were having like a nice little fun run, right? And I know we talked about this in a podcast already this year, where don't sign a coach to an extension just because of one fun season.
Right.
And I think it's clear Mosley has no clue of what to do. He came into this season with a plan for the offense, which was actually faster pace, right? They're picking up the pace. Let's go. It's not working, and all he knows is like, well, this is all we've done all off season. Like,
and it's a net negative because it not only has it really not made the offense that much better, but it's made the defense that much worse. So it's had this total backfiring effect.
Totally. So, I'm with you. I think before you start to say the Bane trade was terrible and Paolo just isn't that guy, you have to fire the coach. And I think sooner rather than later, because this team is awful to watch. They're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere with Mosley. What else do you do? Right?
Also, I don't know any other NBA coach who argues with the refs with his hands in his pockets.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Well,
always
and
been a red flag to me.
so
Like, wait, what are you even saying to them? It's like that's just this odd
well,
quirk he has.
well, listen, man.
Pocket Pete.
Last year, the Bucks fired their coach and hired Doc Rivers. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and the Bucks were winning. I mean, they had Giannis, and that
Right.
helps. But they had a winning record, and fired their coach and hired Doc Rivers, and now the Bucks are looking great.
Yeah.
I don't know why you keep Mosley. He sucks. He is so terrible. The team looks awful. Everything looks so hard, and it's like it's like when I came the last time I came into Tally and watched Benny and Max play, your sons, and
Mm-hmm.
like nothing was being run. I don't want to offend the coach too much, but everything looks so hard, right? And
Yeah.
it's almost like, I mean, they're not even my sons, but I love them so much. I'm getting so frustrated. That's
Yeah.
what I feel like with the Magic. It's like everything looks so hard. It's just
Yeah.
like so awful to watch. It's cringeworthy almost, right?
It is. I mean, last night was an embarrassment. I thought Bane embarrassed himself and the franchise. I mean, that was a very dirty play. I know he's kind of denying it. Like Grayson Allen was like, shunned for a year for that move where you like drag someone down by both wrists while they're going up. They have no way to brace their fall. That's a super dirty play. There's no two ways about it. And he had played like crap before that. So it was just kind of like, the whole thing just felt embarrassing, and the wheels can come off really quick. We've said this before. The Magic have got to, I don't know. I mean, I guess I hate.
A better analogy, I think, is like, when you like it's probably at any level, but like you graduate high school and you go back to watch your high school team that next year, and you see them struggling, and you're like, man, I know I could help them. Like if I just had one more year of eligibility, I would have been. That's how I feel with the Magic. Like, not that I'm an NBA, but it's like, man, I like, if I could just like, something needs to happen here, because it's so off. It's so painful to watch. Like, they just can't do anything. It's.
I mean, we'll see where it goes, Troy. But I would not be surprised. I think he is on the hot seat. He has to be.
Yeah.
Again, who knows with management and whatnot, what they're willing to do. But this is again, this could escalate really quickly with Paolo and Franz not being happy, and I don't want to see it get there. And at some point, he may have just lost the locker room.
Yeah, we'll see. The results are bad, man. That the Magic are they're more painful to watch on offense than the year before, which is crazy because you got Bane, right? It's nuts. So,
all right. Well, we'll keep an eye on the Magic. So, Troy, let's open it up a little bit to so where we're at right now in the season. We're early stages. Is what are you saying? Let's start with the Western Conference. So we touched on them earlier. I think we'd be remiss to not ask the question: is Oklahoma City primed to break the single season NBA win total, which is at this point stands at 73? They are in an NBA that we all feel like there's a lot of talent, and they look like they're cruising right now. So what do we make of that?
Yeah, I mean, to the testament of the security guard that you met 3 years ago, it looks
he was
like
the chief of security. Actually, it wasn't just some random rent-a-cop. It was like some random security guard at the arena. He's like,
of,
hey, that team, they like to play board games together at night. I'm like, all right.
One of my guilty pleasure movies, Half Baked, with Dave Chappelle. He's like, I'm a doctor of the custodial arts, or
That's
a janitor, if you want to be a dick about it.
Dave Chappelle.
So the chief of security. I apologize,
Thank you.
my man.
Thank you.
I apologize. Yeah, man, they don't have Jalen Williams, their second best player, alternate ball handler to Shea. If they want, I think they could win. They could break the record of 73, right? So, And
You think they just need to want it? They're like, yeah, we want to do this. Like, are they that locked in right now? They might be. I don't know.
I mean, they're 8-0. So, I
Yeah.
mean, apparently they want to just destroy everybody. I mean, also, they're just so far talented that they're just so deep.
Yeah.
It seems like no matter.
Do you think
who
that's
they pull off the
development or really
bench-
good drafting or a mix of both?
Both. I'd probably say both. The culture always matters, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you hear guys getting drafted and it's like, oh yeah, guys that go to the club every night and
Right.
stroll into practice 15 minutes late, and then guys that go into like I was listening to Emeka Ibuka, the receiver for the Bucks, and he's like, I go in, like, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin were there like an hour early every morning at 5 a.m. or whatever. You know, they're in the building, but you got to get drafted to the Titans, and guys are in there at like 11 a.m. Right? So it's like,
and practice started at 10.
yeah, exactly. So it's just such a, when you go to the right and the culture just turn, and it starts with Shea, right? So one team has Ja Morant, one team has Shea, and it's just such a difference.
Yeah.
And then you got the other guys filling in right behind
Well,
them.
Troy, remind me, think back 3 years ago, did Oklahoma City have any veterans? Because in some ways you might question, are the veterans a good influence on some of the younger guys with some of these teams? Like, you know, like what if they're, you know, they're taking shortcuts or they're living crazy off the court?
Yeah.
Like, can you remember them having any veterans before they signed,
you know,
Caruso?
It's funny. So they had that team of Shea, Chris Paul, Dennis Schroeder, the three guards.
So that was before I saw him a couple years ago, but you're right. Yeah, that probably set the tone.
And Shea even actually credits Chris Paul for a lot of tutelage. But I'd say Chris Paul and Dennis Schroeder, honestly, those guys take ball seriously.
Yeah, they're pros, man.
Yeah, they're not going out of the club and stuff like that.
So I think at this point, by the, you know, a couple years ago, Shea was a young veteran, you could almost say, right? He's probably, you know, so he was setting the tone. It's really cool to see.
Caruso, Hartenstein.
Troy, why did people hate them? Like even last year, I feel like people hated them. There's literally nothing to hate about them.
I think the thing was the refs,
the foul hunting,
giving Shea the Jordan treatment, and so yeah. But they were we said they were the favorites coming in. I mean, they were with in Vegas. Nothing has changed. Maybe they've even become more favorites.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, they're unbelievable. I mean, yeah, they're an unbelievable team. So going through the West, the other team that jumps out to me, Troy, in the top six, I wasn't as high on them. I just thought like they'd be okay, but you know, their role players don't blow you away as the Lakers, right?
Yeah.
So without LeBron, they're 6-2. What are you seeing from them that makes you feel like they're going to continue this for the rest of the year?
You know, Reeves had his run, and then where Luka and LeBron were out, and Reeves was scoring 50. He shot 88 free throws against the Kings. Total bullshit. But then, you know, dude, Luka is just the man. That trade is dumb. It will forever be dumb. If the Mavs I think the Mavs would literally just say, like, we'll give you Cooper Flag and Anthony Davis for Luka back.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I think they would. So, terrible trade. Luka makes them serious, and if LeBron chooses to come back and play with these guys, they're dangerous, man.
Wait, what do you mean if he chooses? Is that a certified like thing that people think he might actually just keep slow playing the quote unquote sciatica?
He had sciatica, and then like,
hey man, don't sleep on sciatica, bro. That us 38-year-olds, man, that is like some brutal stuff right there, dude. It'll wreck your week, man. I'll tell you what.
Okay. Yeah. Were you able to squat some like 300 pounds?
Yeah.
When you had sciatica?
Always.
Because LeBron posted a video the day after he announced sciatica that he was in the weight room. So
wait, really?
yeah,
I missed that.
So, yeah,
oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
So you think he's just making it up? He probably went on ChatGPT. He's like, what is an old man injury that happens to people? It's like sciatica is a very common thing for 38-year-old men who don't stretch. And then also, like, even for me, like, sciatica kind of comes and goes. So you have it, you get some acupuncture, some chiropractic, you stretch. Like, I love that they're like, he's out a month. It seemed like really extreme.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Ty, so I bashed you with the Grizzlies take last pod, but
you did.
I do want to just I'll give you a chance to gloat here. Number 2 in the West, San Antonio Spurs, 5-1. You predicted the Wemby MVP. What are you thinking, man? What are you thinking?
I mean, it's gone exactly as good as it could have gone, right? Like, this team is built around a generational player. Castle looks awesome, right, in year 2, and Dylan Harper looks really good anytime he's getting minutes around him. And then people I forgot about Vassell, right, Florida State grad. He's become a really good scorer in the NBA. And then you add these other pieces around him, and
Fox
it's like
is coming back.
Fox is coming back, right?
Yeah,
which they're number 2 without Fox. So I think I see no reason why this can't continue, barring Wemby a Wemby injury.
Yeah,
no reason.
Yeah,
if anything, they feel more solid than a lot of the other teams in the East and West that feel like they're one older player injury away from being in trouble. Now, obviously, LA is not LeBron dependent at this point. I'd be curious to know what LeBron's trade ceiling is. He's a tricky one to even gauge at this point. But I feel great about it, man. My only regret is I didn't throw a couple buckaroos down on the old Hard Rock app,
dude, I hear you,
because I felt strongly about these Spurs, and I feel no reason to feel otherwise. Real quick, Troy, the games that are going on now, just a couple of things to touch base on. Luka already has 13 in the first quarter. Looks like them and the Spurs have a good game going, and the Thunder are at Portland. They're up 41-21 at the end of the first quarter. The Thunder are just 75 wins, man. Maybe we just start the chance now. I mean, I think this is a 75 win team.
I mean, Ty, we are in no way a gambling pod, but their over under is 64.5. We might need to lay that right now. I mean, that is insane. 64.5. They're gonna win 70 games easy. I mean, that's like, dude, 10 games too low.
I have a couple college funds that I can siphon some money out of.
I'm gonna buy the college. Get them scholarships, baby.
I'm gonna buy the college after I'm done with this bet, dude. I'm dropping big money.
I mean, that's 10 games too low. At least 6. I mean, they're winning 64.5. So.
That's unbelievable, dude. Yeah, they're special. All right, so anyone else in the West that is worth talking about? If not, there is a team in the East that I dissed in our preseason pod that's kind of lingering. They're right around your Bucks. I feel like we've given the Bucks some good love. 2 teams that we haven't talked much about. First one, Cleveland Cavaliers. So I felt like them and the Knicks were one of them. I felt like was primed to fall off this year. It just felt like they were ripe for it. They've been relevant for a few years. It just felt like the timing was right. New coach for the Knicks. What are you seeing from Cleveland? You think that they're just going to be one of those consistent almost like Toronto in the 2017, 18, 19, where they're always around, but maybe always the bridesmaid, never the bride? Or do you think that this is the year that maybe they make the finals?
Listen, man, I just every year, I mean, since 2020, Donovan Mitchell's been an all-star every year. Made first team All-NBA last year, and he's a certified bucket. You wanted him on the Magic when he left the Jazz.
Yeah, dude, I still want him on the Magic, bro.
You were crying for that.
I was literally crying, dude.
Yeah, you were. No, for sure. Man, just don't sleep on them. Garland hasn't even played yet. Yeah. And I just think at the end of the day, that they were number 1 seed last year for a reason, right? And I think that matters. Like they're no slouches. They have the defenders in the interior. So it just I think, and then they picked up Lonzo Ball, which I think is huge.
Yeah, I definitely poo-pooed that move. I just didn't think it was going to move the needle, and I think I'm wrong. Like in hindsight, like he is one of those guys that, like, if he gives you, again, like we talked about earlier, someone that you can trust the ball being in their hands.
And I trust Kenny Atkinson, man. I think that guy is a top 10 coach.
Yeah, he's a great coach, man.
Yeah. So I think they'll be there when it's all said and done. And to me, for them, they're kind of a team that's just like, I mean, we'll monitor their regular season, but it's really about the playoffs, right? We know they're going to be there in the mix. And
they strike me as a deep and cohesive enough unit that even if someone gets injured, they can weather that storm when it comes to the regular season, right?
Well, now with Lonzo, if Garland gets hurt, they got Lonzo, and so.
Bro, you're talking to the president of the NBA podcaster fan club of Donovan Mitchell, dude. I was 2019, Troy, one of our first podcasts. I was like, he's the top 8 player in the league. Like I've always, I don't know why I turned on him, dude. I even said it in the first podcast. I'm like, I feel like I'm doing something wrong here. I shouldn't be doing this, but I just felt like they might fall off. Maybe, Troy, I'm just so uncomfortable with stability. Maybe I'm just so used to like NBA teams, like having to, you shake stuff up, you blow it up, and they've just kind of been stable, and maybe I'm just not used to that anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was. I don't know, but I think that was a bad choice. What about the Knicks, though? What do we think about the Knicks? Like, I'll tell you this much. I don't like watching them. They're boring as hell, but that doesn't mean that they might not be a good team.
I will say this is a situation specifically going from a coach like Tibbs to I will say I think they downgraded going to Mike Brown. I think Mike Brown is a very overrated coach. Great human being, great guy, but I think he's not a great coach. And but going from a coach like Tibbs, who's playing his starters insane amount of minutes, to Mike Brown, to any other coach, really,
right?
Where you're trying to find rotation. I think that's what they're trying to do right now, is try to find rotations and things like that. But, I mean, they got the deepest roster, right, and the most talent in the starting 5.
In the East.
In the East, for sure.
Right.
2 things that jump out to me in the one is Detroit being number 2, and just to touch on them for 1 second is I'll just combine this with Milwaukee. Cade and Giannis are 2 of the best players I've watched this season.
Dude, you've been on both of them, man. Like especially Cade. Oh, then Giannis is your MVP pick.
Giannis is obvious, of course. He's in there with the Luka, the Jokic, but like someone that's not talked about at all and needs to be more of watching these games. Watched a lot of NBA this year. Cade has been maybe outside of that top tier MVP, the best player that I've watched on a court.
Well, he certainly kicked the Magic's ass. I will say that.
Yeah. So we need some more Cade love, and maybe we'll jump into that next pod of just.
Has Cade made a All NBA team yet? Do you know?
No.
We should. No, he has not. Okay.
No.
So are you saying this is the year, Troy?
Listen, man. If you look at that damn Pistons roster, if they keep winning, and he doesn't make an All NBA team, I don't know what to say. Yeah.
And
honestly, he needs to be spearheading the Dream Team rosters, the Olympic.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Hey, Troy, next podcast, I think we should put together the ideal Team USA roster moving forward.
We could. Yeah.
That'd be good.
I think we need to do that. So because, dude, Cade is just, that Magic game was a perfect example, but every game I've watched, he just controls the game. He's always in control. And the team, they can get down 12, 15 points and the team doesn't panic because he doesn't panic.
Right.
It's another example of like, we have this guy, we know we're good, right? So
real quick, Troy, on the East, selfishly, I want to know your thoughts on the Southeast Division. So Magic aren't looking great, but between Atlanta and Miami, Atlanta had some, hype. Miami, this might be a real thing because it's not like they're getting lucky. Like they brought in an offensive coordinator, like a true offensive coordinator, which I think more teams will start emulating. There's something there. And again, they always seem to overachieve with the roster they have. Who do you think emerges from the Southeast Division? I'm not asking for my betting purposes, but maybe I am.
Yeah. So being an NBA pod, I should probably know this, but in NBA, divisions don't matter. So who's in the Southeast Division?
Well, they matter on the Hard Rock app.
They do. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Southeast Division. No, it's fine. It's Hawks, Orlando.
I got it. Yeah. I'm gonna go with Miami, point blank. Best coach in the NBA. I still believe that. I will die on that hill with Spoelstra. If the Magic fire their coach and move on, that's a different story. I don't see the Magic doing anything, man. It's that bleak for me with them. So,
Yeah.
The Hawks, sure. I think Spoelstra is elite, man. That guy does not rest one game. The regular season is a long haul, and he doesn't quit, dude. I mean, he's on it. So, I'm going, and they're centered around Bam, and they're getting Hero back soon, so they don't even have Hero right now. My money's on them.
So Troy, I have one more question. As someone whose team is fully participating in the Tankathon this year for these top three, honestly, this might be the best incoming draft class we've had in our lifetime. I'm going to go ahead and say it. This is an unbelievable. The top three could be generational. And I'm just seeing more and more data that shows that, like, this is a special draft class, right? So maybe the top 10 is all guys that can start and maybe make an all-star team in the future, like maybe. And I think the top three is special. Who is scaring you right now with how bad they're playing? So we have Brooklyn at 1-7, Indiana at 1-7, Washington at 1-7. We have Utah at 3-5. We already know they're going to trade away and start benching people soon. They love to do that. You guys are 2-5, and then we have Dallas at 2-5, and then the lowly New Orleans Pelicans at 1-6. So, which of those teams worry that you're just worried that they're just too good? Like they're too good at losing, and there's no way that the Kings can outpace them.
Yeah,
and maybe they'll keep you out of that top three.
Yeah, I mean, so for draft purposes, you want to be in the top four, right? Or the bottom four of the league, because
is it four now? Okay, I thought it was three.
Well, you want a top three pick,
right?
But the bottom four all have equal chances.
Okay, got it.
First pick, right? So, yeah, I just gotta say, man, Brooklyn sucks. I think they will be worse than the Kings. Washington is not great. I think Indiana will win some games. I don't see New Orleans. They won tonight. They're 2-6 now.
Okay.
So
good job, New Orleans.
I agree. Keep winning,
good job.
baby.
So that's three that you're gonna have a hard time beating out.
Those three will be very difficult. Otherwise, I see a real shot at the Kings getting a top four or bottom four,
right?
In the standings, which then gives them equal odds at the first pick, right? So, this Kings team is abysmal. They suck so bad, and
hey Troy, don't sleep on the Magic though, bro. We look pretty bad.
y'all are just a couple spots up. So, yeah. So I mean, everyone is saying Utah also should be, but man, that coach. But they could throw in the towel and they might trade.
But their GM,
they might
actively sabotages their great coach. I wouldn't. Yeah. I would keep an eye out for them.
Yeah. So,
all right. Well, Troy.
Sacramento's in the mix, so yeah.
I love it. All right, so we always try to end this podcast with positivity. Before we get to our final segment, Anything else, any player or team or storyline that we missed because maybe we didn't take the best notes before we jumped on, even though we have a wealth of things that I know we always want to talk about?
Listen, man. I think we really hit it. We got some things to keep an eye on moving forward, even for our listeners. Luka and the Lakers cannot be slept on. I mean, it's hard to sleep on them when they're talked
Wait,
about.
how did neither of us pick Luka for MVP?
I don't know. And I mean, he's averaging over 40, dude. I don't know what else to say other than like this guy's on a mission right now to like destroy everybody.
Yeah.
And man, Detroit and the Bulls and that whole division is crazy. I mean, it's Chicago,
Milwaukee,
Detroit, Cleveland, Milwaukee. I mean, that's
Yeah.
insane. All one division.
Murderer's Row right there.
So I'd keep an eye on them and just enjoy the basketball, everybody, because it is awesome, man. Watch these guys. Ann Edwards is back. Let's see what the Wolves do. It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. I any night I just get home and click on the TV and it's just there's some good game or some good team, good player watching to watch. So
Absolutely. All right, Troy. So our final segment.
it's a new segment.
It's a new segment.
Yeah.
And we're ending today's podcast with it. And it's this famous quote that Troy gave. And it's very profound. It's "I hate refs."
Yes.
He gave it in the last podcast.
Yeah.
So Troy, we're going to end it with this segment called "I hate refs," and I will give you the floor to share your piece.
Thank you. I have worked really hard to prepare for this tonight. This has been a long time coming. I've wanted to introduce this to the pod for a while, but I've held off. And and by the way, this will be a weekly segment because otherwise I'd sit here for 5 hours and talk about all the things. But tonight we are gonna go to our friends in Milwaukee, where Giannis Antetokounmpo was getting hacked. Milwaukee lost to Toronto by like 30 points last night. And I mean, there's highlights on the internet of just guys literally like groping him, hooking him, like grabbing him, slapping him in the face, pushing him down at half court. I mean, there's getting mugged. Essentially, it was almost like a street ball game.
I saw one clip where he gets like hammered by like two guys, and when they start dribbling, he like kind of reaches for the ball, and they call a foul on him.
And then they call a foul, and he looked like he was about to choke slam the ref.
I know. I wish he did. Dude.
So we after the game, Doc Rivers gets interviewed, and Doc Rivers says, "I asked the ref what's going on with the officiating with Giannis. Why are y'all officiating him like this?" And Doc, according to Doc, but I believe him because I don't believe refs.
He's an honest man.
Doc is a saint. And he said, one of the refs said to me when I asked them about the officiating with Giannis that they are hitting this is a quote. One of the refs said they are hitting his arms, but he's playing through it. I hate refs. Essentially, because Giannis is not flopping like Embiid or any other player, they're not calling the fouls. Because
That's an
he's
actual
playing
quote?
actual real basketball, they're not giving him the foul call because he's playing through it.
That's unbelievable.
Virtually, by you saying he's playing through it is the foul. That is what you call. I hate refs. Refs suck. They are terrible. Too many free throws. But in this case, not enough free throws. Giannis is getting mugged.
I love watching Giannis shoot free throws.
They're on the payroll of the Colombo crime family. All of them. I hate refs. All of you suck. The Kings should have won the NBA Finals in 2002.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey,
I hate refs.
No better way to end it than that.
First clip.
Troy, come prepared every week for this segment. I think it's going to be a winner, and maybe
Yes.
we'll be lucky enough to get Tim Donaghy on, and I'm sure he would love to enlighten us on why we should hate refs even more. So, oh my gosh, Troy, it's been fun, man.
Yeah,
Great pod as always.
Yes,
incredible
sir.
NBA season. It's just been great to keep up with. The rookies have been showing out. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun storylines. I'm very curious to see where things go. And as always, Buckets and Gravy will be back again next week. We're going to break it down weekly, baby. And in the meantime, don't forget to subscribe, YouTube, Spotify, all that good stuff, because we will be dropping shorts in the meantime. Whenever, if there's a bad call, I might get on and just do my own I hate refs. It won't be as good. I'll be a little too measured and political about it in case I ever want to become an NBA ref someday.
That's the coach in you. That's the coach in you. You can't get too on the bad side of the refs.
I feel like I'm going to get teed up if I say too much. So, all right, Troy, it's been fun, man. Great pod as always.
And Ty, as always, to our listeners in Ireland.
That's right.
Peace.
May the luck of the Irish. Peace, bro.
Peace.